because I really want to talk about step 4.
Yeah.
And step 4 is really...
You know what the steps are? Are you steeped enough in this to know what the steps are? Step 1 is contrast causes you to ask. Ask is step 1. You can't stop doing that. You're just asking constantly. Step 2 is source answers what you're asking for. Or another way of saying it is, once you send off that rocket of asking, source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for. So when you ask for more money, you become vibrationally, in terms of this vortex, more prosperous. That's the part you argue with, as in the vortex. So I want it in my bank. Vibrationally speaking, you become more prosperous. When you ask, it is given immediately. Step 3 is, you got to find a way to release resistance in order to allow what you've asked for, which is already vibrationally there, to flow into your experience. That's what step 3 is. We call that the art of allowing. Allowing what you're asking for to be realized by you. So step 3 is really practicing thoughts, preparing yourself to be in a vibrational place that allows the path to occur to you. Thoughts, ideas, others, impulses, emotions, all early stages of your conscious awareness that this is happening. And then, of course, everything else comes through too. So recently we've been talking about how if you will try just a little bit, if you will care is a better way of saying it. You don't want so much effort, but if you will care about the way you feel, and you will start in this wobble-free place that's easy for you to achieve once you find good feeling things, easy things to think about. When you are awake and focused, law of attraction never ceases to respond to you. So momentum will increase. And as that momentum increases in the absence of resistance, you get into what we are calling like a high-flying disc. You're resistance-free, which means there's no wobble, and the momentum is getting stronger and stronger, and that's when you begin feeling emotions like elation, or fascination, or strong interest, or love, or appreciation. So once you're hanging out in that place a lot, once that's the way others are defining you, that's a happy person, or that person is always eager, or that person really thinks fast on their feet, or that person seems really intuitive, or that person's in the right place at the right time, or that person's living a really good life. Once you are in that place where you're feeling good most of the time, and of course, negative emotion is a natural thing. Don't ask the impossible of yourself. But if you're predominantly feeling good, then you are on that high-flying disc. That's what we're talking about. Now, when contrast introduces itself to you, and it will, it's a smaller wobble. You see what we're getting at? Mm-hmm. It's a smaller wobble of contrast. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to call, that's what Esther insisted that we call step 4. She so likes the steps. Step 4. Step 4 is feeling good. I'm understanding this so deeply. Mm-hmm. Nothing's a mystery to me anymore. When I watch others, when I see myself, as things manifest, as ideas occur, as I get into a group and I can feel us all having a good time and everyone's sort of tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and ideas are flying and fun is being had by all. Step 4, living. Yeah. So stable in your knowledge of the laws of the universe, and most important part, so stable in your personal believing or knowing that you can stay stable. That anything that you then give your attention to doesn't throw you off your game. Yeah. So you keep it close to you. You practice it. You're steady there. Then you can turn on CNN. We don't recommend it. But you could. You could see what's going on in the world, and it wouldn't destroy your sense of well-being. You can put things into perspective and understand that well-being still abounds. You can acknowledge that everyone is the creator of their own reality, and you can revel in the fact that you know that, and your eagerness for them to figure it out. You can revel in your understanding that you never get it done and that you can't get it wrong. You can't get it wrong because you can't get it done.
So we don't have to worry about fixing things. We don't have to worry about air pollution and water.
Well, let's just put it to you this way. When you are worrying, you're not doing any of these things that we've been talking about.
Exactly.
And so when you say, I don't have to worry, Esther said the other day in her most clever of moments, the only thing to fear is fear itself, and that's terrifying. When you feel negative emotion, it means the same thing every single time. You're off your game. You're not in sync with what you really know. And that's why you feel bad. Worry is the way you feel when you're not synced up with what you really know. Worry is the way you feel when you focus in opposition to what you really know. Another way of saying it is, so you've launched these rockets and your path is moving you from where you are to where you want to be. That's the path. Now, you can move in the direction of the path or you can move in opposition to the path. When you worry, you're focused in a direct opposition to what you want. You don't have to be at your destination in order to feel good. You just can't be moving in opposition to your destination. Mm-hmm. Your destination will keep moving on you. Have you noticed? That's step 4 living.
Mm-hmm. It keeps changing.
So step 1 is some contrast. I don't like that. I know what I don't want. I know what I do want. Launching the rockets. Source is all lined up with it. You find vibrational alignment with feeling good because you're not trying to solve the problem. You're focused upon things that are already going well. Now solutions begin flowing to you. In fact, step 4 living is like this. Solutions come in such quick response to your awareness of the problem that you don't even get a fix on the problem before the solution is there. From your position, it looks like the problem and the solution appear to you simultaneously. Step 4 living. Don't you notice that all the time? Isn't that beginning to happen to you a lot? So then you say, but I'm a little bored because life is so good for me. I'm used to a little more drama.
It's true. It's true.
Drama causes me to focus. Esther says, I shine in a crisis. Give me a crisis so I can shine.
It's true.
You get to choose how much gap you have between where you are and what you want. You get to choose what your threshold of discomfort is. Some of you like a little discomfort in order to prove your worthiness.
Well, I have to share. All right.
Some of you want no discomfort. Some of you are so solid in your expectation that you are loved and that wonderful things should flow to you, that you no longer need to mess up your own trail just to prove your own worthiness. And in time, you'll be at that place where you'll understand that there's no virtue in a hard ride. There's no upside to feeling down. Ever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I have to share one story because I had neighbors. I live in an apartment, and the neighbors next door, we share the common wall. They're a young couple, and they're really sweet and really nice. And towards the end of their lease, they were having parties. They were staying out, like right out in the front door on the patio and partying till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was fine. You know, I just put in earplugs, and I thought, let them have fun. And I thought, and I listen to you every morning, and I watch YouTube. I'm always plugged into you. And I thought, well, I don't know if they're Abraham followers, but I think at least they're getting it through. They may not realize it, but it's getting through the walls. I
want to say to you, none of you are Abraham followers. You are Abraham leaders.
Leaders, okay.
Because it is your question that calls us to where you are. And so you're leading this game.
Yeah. And it's
just
true.
As you knew
and
you
we
would.
are such creators. It's just so amazing. And it proved it today. Because I said, you know, I would really love to have a neighbor that is closer to my age. Female would be nice. If we could be friends, that would be great. Somebody that was quiet and respectful. And sure enough, that's what I got. And I thought, well, this is really cool. But we never really see each other. Because, you know, that's just the way life is. If you're not coming and going at the same time, you go in, you close your door, you live your life. You're really not aware of neighbors around you much anymore. Well, I'm sitting in here, a couple of rows back, and I see this woman come walking across the room and sit down. And it's like, son of a... And I got up and I walked around and I sat right in front of her and I said, do you know me? She didn't even recognize me. And she's like, well, I said, I'm your neighbor. We share a wall.
No loud music.
But it is just so, if we could remember the moments when we know we did it. I think that's the problem. We keep discounting our own abilities.
But you see, once you know what you know, and you do, did you sign the disclaimer that says you can't go back? Once you know what you know, Now you begin noticing your setting up of it.
Yeah.
You begin noticing when you consciously gave birth to it. Now, we want to say to you that sometimes what you want to say, I thought the thought, or I made the plan, or I set the goal, and we say, did you? Or was it part of that manifestation that came from that broader perspective? In other words, let's not split hairs over where the thought originated, who was joined in on it. What you are is the receiver of it. What you are the perceiver of it. What you are the interpreters of it.
Does that happen in, because meditation, I keep thinking I really suck at meditating because every time I do.
Before you go there, we want to finish this thought out because
good.
we want you to feel what's going on here. So in the wobble-free zone earlier on, you're more aware of the universe's assistance in the orchestration of the path that is unfolding for you. And so you want to call that the setup. We think that's a good name for it. We want to call it your first awareness of this path that you are now setting out on. And then as other pieces of the trail come into place, don't you just love the idea of following your bliss? Mm-hmm. Don't you like knowing that because you ask for it, it's already done, and now you just get to follow the inspiration for the satisfaction of being on the journey? You see, most humans still misunderstand. You think that you're here in order to get stuff done. It's not to get it done. It's to enjoy the deliciousness of the doing of it. Mm-hmm. It's for the fun and the clarity and the fulfillment of the pieces dovetailing. In the same way that we don't want to talk to you about the physiology of your body because you would get so bored before you would get to anything that would be meaningful for you. We just want to say your emotions tell you all you need to do, pay attention to them. That's the entire medical physiological conversation that we want to have to you. Feel good and you are. And so in the same way, we cannot possibly explain to you all of the details of all of the co-creating that are going on. We want to say to you that infinite intelligence is infinite and really, really good and on your team. So when life has caused you to identify that you want something, all resources move toward the fulfillment of that for you, for you, for you, for us. For you, for all of us, because there isn't anything that you ask for that doesn't take everything forward. You're the leading edge of all of it. Do you understand that? So when life causes you to become more, even if you haven't become more all the way, you've just become more with the request, Source gives undivided attention to the request, and all resources, the energy that creates worlds, moves in the direction of the fulfillment of that. And in your wobble-free zone, you pick up on it. You feel the setup, you feel the impulse, you follow that impulse and that impulse, and you begin watching things unfold for you. Every place you go, there's a parking place waiting for you right up front. Every place you go, there's someone there to greet you with something important for you to receive. Every single interaction of your life has the potential of revealing to you yet another way to know that you're on your path. There's no reason for you to ever be off your path if you care about the way you feel and you've practiced feeling good enough to know that you're on your path. But sometimes people haven't practiced feeling good. They don't know they're on their path. They feel bad. They can't tell if they're on their path, if they're not on their path. And now they're trying to control conditions and circumstances and others in order to make themselves feel good. That's hard. That's really a hard way to go about it, you see. Inspired living. Watching for the setup, being aware of it, and then seeing where it leads. Acknowledging it all through the day. Oh, that was really good. Oh, that was really good. Oh, that was really, 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 really good. That's really good. It's really good. Oh, that was good too. That was really good. That was really good. That was really good. And taking credit for your responsiveness, for your awareness, for your perception, for your perspective, for your being. So, aren't you lovely? You're willing to bang around. You'll bang around in bigger contrast and you'll launch rockets. And Source is then on it. The question is, how long are you going to bang around in the contrast and how soon are you going to get on the path that Source has already plotted for you? And how well are you going to stay on the path? How well are you going to understand the path? How pleasurable is the path going to be is really the question. And the answer to that is, what's my filter? What's my limit? How bad am I willing to feel before I'll